99X in the Morning X. Wheatus, I'm just a teenage dirtbag. How many of us, Fram, can relate to that term?
Always.
So many, which I think had a play in what happened to that song so many years later. But let's get into it with someone who, one, is coming in concert here soon as Wheatus comes back through Atlanta, but Brendan Brown, who is the man in Wheatus. Hey, Brendan, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
So good. Nice to meet you. Catchiest damn song ever.
Oh, sorry about that.
You should be sorry. No, I'm kidding. That was just so freaking catchy.
I did my homework, Barnes and Brendan. It was the old Cotton Club you guys played in 2000.
Oh, damn.
Wow.
Yes.
Was that
Anyway.
with Zebrahead, maybe?
Maybe.
Or, yeah, wow.
Rest in peace. That club's gone now.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. A lot of clubs from back then are gone, but we're talking about 2024 now. Oh my God.
I know, it's insane. Almost 25 years since you first released that song. So Dirtbags Across America, the acoustic tour coming to Eddie's Attic on March the 9th. If you'd like to go, it's hard to believe it's been that long, but you haven't stopped putting out music. I mean, you guys have been very active.
No, we keep going. We're completely independent. We haven't had a management or a record label since 2005. We do it ourselves. Still homemade records, still made in the basement,
So if somebody wants to get in touch with you, they just email you.
Pretty much, yeah.
Email you.
I love it.
Go to Wheatus.com and email myself or Matthew. And we do it all ourselves.
I saw on TikTok a while back, of course, we all know that your song blew up in 2022 and went viral on TikTok. But some of the stuff where I saw, I think it was you. Are you doing that voice that sounds like a female in the song?
Yeah, that was me on the recording.
I had no idea.
Yeah,
that was you.
Yeah, well, the video kind of takes that away from me and gives it to Mina Savari, an amazing actor. But
yeah,
we did that on the recording because it was like part of the character's arc, to suddenly be interrupted and have this other person come in, and it was prior to any of the expansion of the band. Now we have a keyboard player and 2 backing vocalists and blah blah blah. Sometimes we're an 8-piece, whatever. But we didn't have anything like that back then. So I developed the song with that part in there and doing it myself, and that was the only way we could finish the record. So
you did it as a whole, and what we're talking about is the part where he goes, "I got 2 tickets to
yeah,
that part."
I didn't know that was him.
So that was like a holding spot, and then you just decided that works. Let's do it.
Well, so live, I'd been in New York. We're playing clubs, and I'd been doing it myself live in the clubs, right? So, and it was a part that the audience kind of was really kind of waiting for. And keep in mind, back then there was no kind of trickery you could employ to get you to voice it. You couldn't do that. And we still don't use any tricks for it. But it's just stuck. It just stuck as my part.
So funny. I love
we call
that.
it the girl part, but
it sounds like a girl.
Yeah.
I always thought it was.
Yeah.
Talking to Brendan Brown, of course, from Wheatus. Cannot believe it's been 25 years since the release of your debut album, which is incredible. You guys have been putting out music, you're touring, you're coming to town at Eddie's Attic. But Barnes and I have so many questions about the whole TikTok phenomenon.
It is interesting.
Yeah, we're a new TikTok band that's 24 years old.
But hold on. Let's talk about first. Kate Bush had that moment and made millions of dollars. Did you have the same experience?
Very, very deservedly so. We're still kind of figuring that out. Again, nobody cared about us for about 10 years, right? So that meant that we kind of held on to our own stuff. And when we got out of the major label deal, we held on to our second record, and we've long since re-recorded Teenage Dirtbag, and we own now the new master, the 2024. We did sort of a Taylor's version kind of thing. The revenue from stuff like this is more about the opportunity that it creates. So we love to tour. We love playing music live. That's all we care about. So when we saw that happen, we were like, let's book some touring, it's just
immediately.
As soon as we can, So yeah, we're doing a little bit better than we were back in 2007. I'll tell you that much.
That's good.
Which is really cool. But we're still very much an independent band, and the way I talk about it is it's kind of like we own a deli. You know, you wake up early in the morning, you got to get all your produce ready. You got to you do it all yourself, you know? So,
well, but like in 2005, when you re-released, didn't you re-release an album and call it Suck Phony?
We did.
Which is very funny, by the way, because you used to be on Columbia, right? Which is under Sony.
Right. Do you want the full story on where that title came from?
Yeah.
Please.
Okay. So we were booked to play a festival in Finland in the Arctic Circle in the summertime where the sun never sets with Green Day and Stone Temple Pilots. And a week or two before the show, Stone Temple and Green Day dropped off. They canceled their European touring plans. So we decided to pick up the show. They offered it to us as a headlining act because at the time Dirtbag was really big in Europe and was starting to happen. What they didn't tell us was that it was a black metal festival that they had turned it in. So they after Green Day and Stone Temple were gone, it became this other thing, and we didn't know. And we show up and we play at midnight, headliner, and I'm thinking, man, all these bands are really dark and heavy, and I love that stuff, but these people are going to hate us, right? So halfway through the song Sunshine, I get hit in the chest with like what I would refer to as like a half a Belgian block, right? Really big piece of rock somebody threw from way back and just beamed me right in the chest, knocked the wind out of me and everything. I went back a few paces and I thought to myself, you know, if that was a couple inches higher, I would be missing all my teeth. And so I got kind of frustrated and I challenged whoever did it to a fight on stage, which is like the greenest, stupidest thing I've ever done in my life.
Depending on who accepts, right?
Well, so there's seconds later, there's 4 security guys on a Viking. Like this guy was Thor and he's ready to kill me and he's at the stage. He's made it all the way up to the stage. There's nothing stopping him. And then all the other security jump on him. So he's got like 8 guys on him and he's shouting at the top of his lungs, "You suck, phony."
Wow.
And our sound guy and our monitor guy had recorded the show, so that was it's on a DAT. I have it somewhere. And we that night after the show, we said we got to make a live record of this night and call it Suck Phony. That's the only way that this can go. So that's where the title actually came from.
What feels like it would have come from somewhere else.
Right.
Did you guys finish that show in Finland?
We did. We kept playing.
And you lived, yes, to tell about
and
it.
I lived,
to talk about it. Yes.
And there was a little bit more security around the dressing room afterwards, but it was like one of those learning experiences. Like, you don't do that. Like, if you get hit in the chest with a rock, that's part of the deal, pal.
Wow.
So in the height of everything that was happening on TikTok, were you sitting around watching what was unfolding? Because there were a lot of like actors and artists. They were all doing the Dirtbag Challenge.
Oh, yeah. It was coming so fast. We couldn't keep up. We were like racing to sort of respond and interact. And then a couple of them came through and I kind of stopped in my tracks and kind of sat down and just
like
looked
who?
at it. Cheech and Chong.
Oh,
like
yeah.
For an X generation guy like me, that was like, oh my God. Lady Gaga did one. Madonna did one. And then the biggest one, the one that really made me stop and think, was Quincy Jones, who is arguably the greatest record producer of all time.
Absolutely.
And I thought to myself, how does that man, he's like Beethoven, how does he know my music? Like, how does he even know this? You know, why would he acknowledge it? And it was a place we never imagined getting to so many years later, right? That was one of those things. It's like, it's surreal. Hearing it come out of my mouth is surreal.
But such a great trend. It was such a great trend to watch. Some of them are stupid. That one was really fun to watch because it had a weird mix of nostalgia. It had a mix of voyeuristic mix, looking into these old celebrities, old photos. Like, it had all the perfect storm of emotions to make something really pop, and I hope you benefit from it.
Oh, we did. It was awesome. I mean, we have a whole new life after that. Like, you know, I don't know if you saw, but we're doing like over 100 tour dates this year for a band that should have died 15 years ago. That's awesome.
Love it.
But and it was weird though. It was a Teenage Dirtbag is like an identity song, right? So you had this full range of identities. Like, people were posting pictures of themselves like on the hood of a cop car in cuffs.
Right.
And then, you know, Katie Couric's wasn't very much like that, but it was, you know, like, I mean, it was like these are the flowers I picked with my mom when I was 12, you know. And it was just a full range of human experience and different people, different ages. It was really cool.
Absolutely cool. Well, it's great to meet you, Brendan Brown from Wheatus. And if everyone else wants to meet Brendan, he's going to be here, the Dirtbags Across America acoustic tour, Eddie's Attic, on March the 9th. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Brendan.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, Brendan Brown from Wheatus. This is the original. It's 99X.